Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speed Talk episode 16. Today, I'm Dansta2106, as always, and today I'm joined by Dansta2106. Am I right?
Yo, what's up? Yo, happy to be here.
Is it 2106 or 2106?
I really don't care. I think 2106 makes more sense because
Okay.
it's my birthday. So
Okay.
that makes more sense to me,
We're born in.
but I don't really mind.
Wait. Oh, so June 21st. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was so confused. That was going to be one of my first questions is what's the backstory behind the 2106? And I was like, well, it can't be a birthday because I'm thinking of the USA like birthday the way it goes because it's always like month, day, year in the USA. But that makes sense. I kind of forgot that the other countries do it the
Yeah,
normal way.
I refuse the American way.
It makes more sense your way, I will say, like
Exactly.
because day and then month is bigger and then year is bigger, so that does make more sense. But
Exactly.
I can't get used to it. So yeah, I have a lot of different topics planned. Obviously you have a lot of different experience. I think you've been in the community for Odyssey at least from pretty much the start. So a lot of stuff we can
Yeah.
cover here. Um, but before all that, I want to know what was your first like video game as a kid? What's the first game you remember playing?
Oh, that is a good question. I don't think there's a definitive answer because my parents said that they sat me down when I was 2 years old and played some math games or something, so to learn math. So probably something like that. Uh, if you go for first Nintendo game, I think it was Mario 64 DS because I got a DS when I was, I don't know, 6. And I got Mario 64 DS immediately at that, but I was too, I don't know, stupid or something to know how to like go get anywhere in the game. I
Yeah,
remember like not being able to get anything.
3D game as your like first game would be like tough, I feel like. Because my first game was I think like New Super Mario Bros. DS in terms of Nintendo. Um,
Yeah, I also
and
had
like
that.
my
I also had
DS,
that.
yeah. So 2D games are were a
But
lot
but
easier.
but I but I do remember some of these like learning games that I played before, but I don't know the names of them.
That just doesn't even surprise me. It just purely based on like the Rubik's Cube tutorial you gave me at Pace. It seems like like the first game would be like a math game. It's just not even surprising. Um anyway, I know before Odyssey came out, you had some Mario Maker experience. What was like how involved were you in that community? And I guess like how did you transition from that to Odyssey eventually?
Yeah. So I found out about Kaizo in 2016, like at the start of 2016. I was like 13, and I just like got the game, and then I was like looking through streams, and then I saw someone play Panga levels. Uh, I don't know if are you familiar with Panga?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I saw that I was like amazed because that to me was completely something different. And I was like, okay, I'll just try it too. And I did, and I was bad, but I wanted to continue playing it, and I got very, very quickly, I got a lot better. And for example, one of the most difficult levels at the time was U-Break from him. And I remember being like, yeah, I'm never going to beat this. 2 months before I beat it. So I was like getting really good really fast. And at the end, I was even, I think 4 months after I learned what Kaizo is, I was the second person to beat all Panga's levels. And I think I just made a bit of a name myself there because I also started streaming it. Um, and I remember being called like a Kaizo prodigy because I was really good at it with a lot of other people at that age too. And we even like had a group like called Kaizo Prodigies, which was just like a, I don't know, team name or something. I think am I still in the Discord? I'm not even sure. I'm not sure, but there used to be a Discord for it. Um, and yeah, that's how I got involved there. And in the next, I don't know, 1.5 years after that, I continued playing like really, really difficult levels. Uh, and just, I don't know, making a name of myself a bit. And then Odyssey came out in October 2017. And I was like tangentially already involved in speedrunning because of Mario Maker, because it does have a connection a bit to it. For example, Panga is also a Sunshine speedrunner, so I learned a bit about speedrunning through that. And Odyssey came out. I was like, okay, I'm going to try speedrunning. I thought I would change back after like a month. Yeah, never mind. I didn't. I kept at it.
That's great. I didn't realize you were like so like I knew you played Mario Maker, but I didn't realize you were like super good at it. Cause I know for me, I played Mario Maker, but I mean I was like 9 or something. So I was just like one of those like kids that were making like complete trash levels and thinking they were so good. There's not.
Fun fact, Mitch was also in the Mario Maker community, and that's
Oh
where I
yeah.
actually knew him from. And he only started playing Odyssey because I told him he would be good at it.
Oh really? I didn't know that. I knew he was in the
Yeah,
community, but I didn't know that's why I started playing Odyssey. That's funny.
yeah. He was like in my stream when I switched to Odyssey, and I was like, "Yeah, come on, bro, you're gonna be good if you play it." And then he got some hour before me, and I was a bit mad.
Yeah, he went on to be a little good at the game, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And a fun fact I like to tell that he doesn't like, but I don't care. Do you know his username before Mitch? He hates talking about it.
I feel like I know it, but I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Pow block champion.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's funny.
I think it's so funny, and he hates it, but I don't care. I
Imagine
think
he
it's funny.
imagine he kept that username. Just Pow Block
Yeah.
Champion 57 uh 54 or whatever it was. That's
Yeah.
funny. So what made you want to start speedrunning Odyssey? I mean, I assume the
I mean,
movement.
initially it was just, oh, it's a new Mario game, and oh, it's a cool new 3D Mario game. I should like try it. And then I mean, we all know how good the movement in Odyssey is and how good it feels when you play well. And I think that just kept me going. And also, I feel like when you start speedrunning, it's very hard to not have fun because you always improve yourself,
Yeah.
and that just feels good. At some point, it just becomes a chore a bit, but in the beginning, it definitely feels like you're always getting better.
Yeah, it's a complete trap. It's like starts out super fun and then it's just completely
Yeah, you
terrible
want
at
the
some
rush.
point.
You want to have the rush.
Yeah. Um, what were some of like obviously you mentioned Mitch from was like you knew him from Mario Maker. Were there any other people that you like saw switch from Mario Maker to Odyssey that you were like kind of friends with?
Lil Curbs. Lil Curbs,
Perks. Yeah.
definitely. I think Lil Curbs was also in the Kaiser Prodigy team, if I remember correctly.
All right.
Uh, and then like he also switched over. I think there were also a couple other guys who tried it, but nobody who got like really good. I know like Sambro, his full username is
Oh yeah.
Sambro. You don't know. He also used to play Mario Maker, and then he switched a bit. I don't know. I have not heard from him in years now.
Yeah.
Uh,
He was in
I don't.
BTTV1, I believe.
Maybe what?
I think he was in BTTV1. He had some segments.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there were others too, but I don't know. Andrew, I remember like an Andrew Mario Maker guy. He also had a run, but no other top runners, I think.
Okay. All right. So then, who were like some of your first friends in like the Odyssey community? I guess itself, like outside of Mario Maker.
I think Tylo, because
Okay.
Tylo also used to be there like from the start, and Zyper too. I don't know if you know Zyper,
Yeah, I heard of him.
because there's like the confusion because it's Zyper and not Cypher.
Yeah,
Because
they're two
Zyper is
different
still part of
people.
the community, but Zyper is from Denmark, and uh, also the first time I was at ESA with Tylo and Zyper was a run from me against Zyper, a race, and Tylo commentated. But yeah, I think he stopped at 104 at the time. And now, I mean, I always like see him at ESA. I even did another speedrun, like another game with him, co-op, I think last year in winter.
Oh, nice.
Ib and Ob. It's like a really cool 2D platform co-op game.
Cool.
But yeah, I think those two. And then also Tyrone was really early on.
Oh, really?
So probably, yeah. I remember having like races with like all four. Or like not, I don't think we even had races with all four people at a time, but I had races with all of them very
Okay.
early on.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people obviously that like were in the community that aren't anymore. Um, I was kind of around, but like I wasn't like interacting at all because I was like 10, but I was like I've been like looking at the community since like beginning of 2018, late 2017. I just didn't join till like 2020. But what would you say is like the biggest thing that's different now compared to back then in terms of the Odyssey community? Because it's definitely changed quite a bit, I think.
Oof. I've, I'm not sure. I feel like for myself, I used to be like the young prodigy in
Oh
gaming,
yeah.
you know. Now I feel a bit like a yeah, like the old guy in the community because there's so many young people. So it's
Yeah.
definitely like, wait, you're born in 2007? No, that's like a baby. That doesn't work. No.
I was
So
2006 for the
yeah,
record.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like as old as my brother, and like that to me, that's just a bit weird.
It's
Um,
funny though, because I kind of feel the same thing. Because in 2020, I was 13, so I was like one of the youngest people in the community. I mean, I wasn't one of. Unfortunately, 13 was not one of the youngest people in the community, but I should have been one of the youngest people in the community. But now I'm like 18, so now I'm like older than a lot of people in the community. So it feels a little weird because like so I'll get people in my stream chat and I'm like, okay, this guy's 10, this guy's 10. You could just tell from the way they're typing. And it's like, okay, now I'm
exactly,
like
and now
so
imagine
much
my
older.
shoes. Like I'm 4 years older than you, and like I
Yeah.
feel like old as old as hell.
Yeah. That's like it's crazy how
So
like how long it's been since the beginning of the Odyssey
yeah,
community because it does not feel like
yeah.
it's been like 8 years.
So that for me is definitely a big change. But I think in terms of like Odyssey, the movement has just like skyrocketed to places that were unimaginable at the time.
Yeah.
Uh, I, I I have to say I do not and still don't understand like the mentality that a lot of people have of, oh, this is the last minute barrier. Because I remember like, oh yeah, no, we're never gonna have some hour. I was like, no, bro, like definitely we're gonna have some hour.
Oh
What do you
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I
And
was
and
always
and
an
then like
advocate
and
for
then like it
sub.
happened and it was like, okay, yeah, this is the last minute barrier. No way we're gonna get to 58. And 6 months later we had a 58. Like just like accept it. Even when 55 happened, I was like, no, it's not gonna be the end of middle barriers. And I mean,
Oh yeah.
look at it now. We have the Switch 2, and world record I think today got improved to 55:27.
Yep.
So
I think 26, yeah. It's crazy.
yeah, okay, maybe retimed, but I saw
Yeah.
an on pace like 27. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like it's crazy. Switch 2 is insane, which we'll definitely talk about that later. But it's it's just crazy to see like how much this game gets improved. I was always saying like I think I remember I was in Fearsome Fire's chat in like 2018.
that name I
That
have not heard of him in a long time.
that iconic clip of him saying sub hour will never happen. A lot of
Yeah.
people, like most people, don't know this, and I don't say it too often because I was using my mom's account. But I was in that Twitch chat, and I'm pretty sure I'm the one that started like that whole like series of him saying sub hour will never happen and stuff. And it's so funny just looking back on that because like I don't understand why anyone would have said that. Like I always knew like I feel like I've never really said it's the last minute barrier. Like that seems
Yeah, because I feel like people say it
silly.
way too much. Because no, or even if so, then like
Yeah.
imagine in 100 years, do you still think we have the same minute barrier? Like it's
Yeah.
not gonna be the last minute barrier.
we're so early in this game's life still compared to like
Exactly,
old
exactly.
games like 64 and stuff. So it's like this is
Yeah.
not the last minute barrier. People are going to be playing this
And
game for a long
even
time.
there, you get still new minute barriers. Even in Mario
Yeah,
64, it's like, yeah, no, 137. That's never gonna happen. And now we have a 135, and I'm sure we're gonna have a 134 at some point.
yeah, exactly. It's like it's crazy. Especially for any game that has like a huge speedrunning scene, which Odyssey definitely does.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. Anyway, um, with the Odyssey, what's like at the beginning, I guess, what's the most memorable like first big accomplishment would you say you had,
Um,
if
I
you remember?
remember I remember that there's a local gaming event in my city where since 2018 now I'm like a part of every year. For like also responsible for the speedruns. But in 2018, I went there for the first time and I like wrote them an email. Oh, I just started speedrunning because they were searching for people to like exhibition speedruns, and I just started and I had a 109, I think, uh, and because it was like early 2018, and I texted them, and then I did a run there on stage, which was very crazy to me because I had never ever experienced anything close to that.
Yeah.
And I think that like spiraled my like for me to be more active in also the live speedrunning stuff because also ESA later and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that was very cool. And then, of course, the first sub hour. I mean, I think that is the same for everyone. Like everyone who
Oh
has their
yeah.
first sub hour, that is crazy. And also, I think the PB before sub hour, because I had a 10030 or something, and then I had like I don't know, my SOB was 5930, and I like got an insane run, and I was like 5950 PPT into pillars, and then I failed pillars and I got a
Oh.
1001,
Oh no.
and that's the reason I didn't get first European sub hour because then Tyrone got
Damn.
it before me and Mitch got it before me, and I
Oh,
took 4 more months to get that 1 second down.
damn, you almost beat Tyrone. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Tyrone had a 1008 or something, and then I jumped him with a 1001. That was also the last time my PB was better than his.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because after that, once he got sub hour and 1.3 came out, he started popping off.
Yeah.
Um, damn, that's crazy. Um, Also, I think the first time I heard of you was I believe just Cap Kingdom. I remember you were really good at Cap
Yeah.
Kingdom back then.
Yeah.
Why were you so good at Cap Kingdom? Did you just
Because my mentality was garbage
you
and I
just
just
reset
like
a
reset
lot?
all the
Yeah.
yeah, I on the run.gg you can check how many resets you have at each segment, and I wait, let me see how many exact attempts I have right now, and then I will tell you how much of that is uh cap resets. Okay, so my splits right now say 55,124 attempts, and pretty much exactly 50% of that is cap resets.
That's not 50%'s not terrible. Now
It
it
is
kind of is. It
It
kind of
is
is actually.
terrible because that is 27,000 or something just
Yeah.
on cap reset.
I would say like Cap and Cascade collectively wouldn't be bad, but just Cap
Oh,
is
let me open it
Cascade
real
is
quick.
even worse probably with DSS
I wanna I,
especially.
wa- I wanna check right now what like my combined like cap cascade resets. Like how many runs? I think it's like 1 out of 10 at best that gets out of cascade for me.
Probably same for me, yeah.
I think I can pull this up real quick. Blitz stats. No.
I'm in a similar spot with with Cap Kingdom right now too, because I get like well before Switch 2, I got like 216s pretty consistently. Just because I'm so used to resetting.
Yeah.
So now I'm just good at Cap Kingdom. I think my gold is like before Switch 2, I believe my gold was like barely worse than Autumn's.
Mhm. Okay, I'm not sure. I know that you can somehow find it on the run, but I don't know if I can find it right now.
Okay.
Oh wait, maybe here. Reset percent. Oh yeah, there. Okay, 10,261 out of 54,000 got out. So I had like 44,600 resets in Cap Cascade out of the
So
54,000.
just over 80% would be
Uh,
reset before sand, I think.
Completion percent. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
50.14% of all runs to cap, and then of those, 62% of runs in Cascade.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Makes sense though. Cascade, especially Cascade, DSS is stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
I do it so weird, DSS. I will like I call it Dansta DSS, by the way. Uh,
Thank you.
and
Because
then
I know what you're doing then.
yeah, and then I call the other one Tyron DSS.
No,
But
I call it slow and fast DSS
yeah,
because Tyron's way
that's
is
what I should
faster.
call it. Yeah. But I will like I'll do DSS your way, like the usually I try to do that, but then sometimes it won't work, and then the fast CSS will work 100% of the time, and it's like literally just alternates for me sometimes. Like sometimes
I know the feeling, yeah.
it's so weird. Sometimes I'll just fail it one way, and then the rest of the stream I'll do it the other way, and I feel like
Yeah.
the only person who
And,
does
and
it.
also and also I set myself the thing like if I get a 215 cap, then I go for fast DSS because then there's the chance of getting like an insane cascade exit. That's my like general rule.
Yeah. So you talked about the journey to sub hour a little bit. After sub hour, obviously now you have. I should have noted this down, but 57
57.39.
39. Okay. I'm happy I didn't say what I thought it was because I was gonna say like 5x or something. Um, but yeah, you obviously had a big roadblock with the grind for 57. Um,
Yeah.
I don't when did you get 58? I don't even remember.
December 2020 unofficially, and officially February 2021 because my recording was like too laggy for the first one.
Oh, okay.
And it was a 58-59 in both cases.
Okay. Well, that's interesting then. Um, yeah, 2020. Okay. And then what was the grind for 57 like? Because obviously you had that big roadblock.
Yeah, it was very difficult, but also I started like to also get a lot more IRL things that I had to do. So
Okay.
like my grind was like it got breaks multiple times, and then I had to get back into it. And yeah, even to now, like also I'm not as active as I used to be because of stuff that I just do otherwise. Because I just changed my life a bit, so I do way more things IRL now. I used to just like sit down and play and
Yeah.
barely do anything else. And now I don't know, I go to football matches, I travel like a lot. So and then I need to like if even if I have the time to grind, I'm like, okay, if I do grind now in 1 week, I'm gonna like not be able to do anything for 2 weeks. So why grind now? Because then I'll already lose my consistency again. Why not like
Yeah.
wait, you know? So that happens a lot.
Yeah, that seems to be like I think from the Speed Talk episodes I've had, it's pretty evident that the older the people are, the more like this sounds really mean to all the younger people I have, but like the busier, I guess. I was gonna say the more of a life
Yeah,
they
it
have, but
is.
that
It
sounds
is
mean.
definitely. It is definitely true. Because when I was still in school, I would go home and I would literally sit down and I would play and then I would go to sleep and then I would go to school again and repeat. And now
Yeah,
I don't really do that anymore. Even like I go home from work and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna chill and then I'm gonna play Witcher 3 or something. I just like to chill a bit. And speedrunning,
yeah,
sometimes
it's
I boot up the game, I do a few runs offline, and I'm like, nah, I don't feel like it right now, and then I switch
exactly.
it off and do something else again.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. Like, because I used to always play like right when I got home from school, but now like, I mean, I've been working like 4 summers, but recently I've been working like way more often. And it's just like I completely feel that. Like I get home from work and I'm even the last few days when Switch 2 had just come out, I would still get home from work and I'd be like, I don't really feel like playing Switch, even though I just got a new console. So you'd think I'd, have the energy for it, but it's
Yeah.
tiring.
Also that reminded me right now of like I think the craziest time for me was like before Odyssey still, because in Mario Maker, I don't know if you know the level Val's Shell Space.
Oh yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah, and I remember I wanted to beat it so bad. Like after I beat all Panga's levels, I granted that, and I can even tell you the exact dates. So you Break I beat on April 30th, 2016. Then all Panga levels, the last one I beat on June 28th, 2016. And then I had a huge grind over the whole of summer for just World's Shell Space. And I played the game for 131 hours in total. Just this level, 131 hours and 27 minutes and 68,129 attempts. And I beat it on September 1st, 2016. So like this is how much I still
That's
remember
crazy.
this.
Yeah,
And I did like nothing but do that. I even did a 24-hour stream just playing Well Shell Space for 24 hours. And like I could not imagine doing that now. That sounds like pain.
that sounds terrible. Um, yeah, Mario Maker, I was like similar to Odyssey at the beginning. I was definitely like observing the community. Same with Mario Maker 2, but I would never like, I guess for Mario Maker, I never got like fully into the community. I definitely have interacted with some community members for SMM2 though. It's cool.
Oh, I just remembered one more person who like afterwards told me like that he also came from the Mario Maker community and I just like didn't know him because of a different name or something. But you know Raya
Oh
Alstioden?
yeah.
Yeah, he also used to be in Mario Maker community. He told me like I don't know 2 years later or something, and I didn't know that before.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that either. Um, anyway, back to Odyssey for the 57 grind. When did like how did it feel when you did finally overcome that, and then what made you want to go back and do more 80% after that?
Um, I mean, it's completely unbelievable. I think
Yeah.
if you have like such a long grind and then you finally do it, like you finally get over that line. Um, I don't know. I was very, very happy. I uh, remember I did cry a bit after the stream,
That's
so
completely
that's
fair.
like it was very emotional. And I definitely I would never say, oh, this is like I'm done. I think I would never say that. If I'm done, then that would just be like a thing that happens over the course because I'm like playing less and then at some point I'm playing something else. But I would never say I'm definitively done, I think. And I think that happened after 57 too. I was like, okay, this was difficult, but who knows? I could improve it. I will probably improve it. And I mean, I did. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And then do you have any advice on overcoming minute barriers? I'm currently stuck on my own.
I mean, I think I'm not the best at it because it always takes me very long too. Uh, I think probably the best would be to try to really absolutely not think about it and just,
Yeah.
like a lot of the time when you go for minute barriers, you tend to reset if you know that you're not going to be able to anymore. Even though you maybe could still get a good run or maybe could still, I don't know, get a PB, but it's not going to be the minute barrier. Uh, So just like keep those runs going, especially since last October. I don't know if you maybe also wrote that down that I like did the sub-hour October challenge last year,
Oh, I forgot about
uh,
that.
where I did 100 sub-hours in a month, and I PB'd twice during that.
That was
Uh,
cool, yeah.
so so I think that really taught me how much resets actually hurt you.
Yeah, they do. Resets are I feel like if I finished every run I did, my PB would probably be way better. But it's just because
Exactly,
I don't
exactly.
have time when I'm doing sessions, so it's so hard to
That's
finish runs.
that's the problem. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I can finish this
That,
run, but then I'm probably not PBing today. So it's just like,
exactly. But still, I think you get better when you do that, and then you
yeah.
maybe still PB earlier. And yeah, I think I definitely want to do something like the sub-hour October again this year. I can't in October this year, but maybe in like I don't know, September or November. I don't know.
What do you mean? You're not going to be doing like sub-hour attempts at Speed Gaming Live just the whole entire time?
Fun fact: in October, okay, I don't know. Maybe I would have come back to this later, but I'm
Oh, we'll
gonna be
definitely
done.
talk about
Like
it.
not, I'm gonna be not home for the whole month of
Oh,
October.
really?
Yeah,
I think you might. I forget
but
if you told
again,
me that before, but that's funny. That's like you're
yeah,
traveling a lot. It's crazy.
yeah, exactly. This year especially, every year it gets more. I swear. Last year I was like, oh, I'm traveling so much, like all the time, and then this year I think it's even more. It's crazy.
Yeah. So obviously, as we've mentioned a few times, a couple days ago, Switch 2 came out. Did you get that, or do you have plans to get that? And if you did or have, okay, you have.
I
There
have
you
it.
go. I have mine right there.
I got it. I got it immediately. Yes.
Yeah, same. I was like one of the people trying to like pre-order it anxiously on, on the opening at midnight. Um,
I pre-ordered and it got delivered the same day for me, or like it got delivered correctly.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I got mine like 6 in the morning on June 5th. It was nice. And then it came with like I don't know where you got, I got mine from Walmart, so it came with the Pringles and the Coke, and it had no note in
Walmart.
there.
Walmart doesn't exist here, so
Oh,
I
okay.
got it. It's called Mediamarkt in German.
Okay. But yeah, I got like Pringles and a Coke, and I was very confused at first. But then apparently
Okay. No,
everyone got one. Yes.
I got my Switch 2 plus Mario Kart World and Switch 2 Procon.
Nice. I didn't get the Procon. How does Procon feel? Is it good?
Yeah, it's very similar to Odyssey, to
Okay.
Odyssey, to Switch One. You know the new buttons here at the back, right? Like
Yeah.
these.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't do anything if you don't have them mapped, but it's a bit weird because like if I'm just like shaking, I just accidentally press them sometimes, and I mean they don't do anything, but it confuses me a bit.
Do the control sticks feel different? Because I heard like they like don't rub against
They
the
snap,
controller as
they,
much, I guess.
exactly, and they snap back to the center like really fast. Like if I do this, it
Oh
like snaps
wow.
back faster
Yeah.
than on the Switch One controller, definitely.
Is that taking getting used to, or is it like
I think so. I think it messed me up a bit at the start. I think I'm
okay?
getting used to it already, but it definitely messed me up a bit.
All right. So do you have obviously for viewers who don't know, any percent saves like 45 seconds now. Um to 50 seconds I think depending on your personal Switch's loads. But do you have plans to come back to any percent with that? I'm
Yeah,
assuming you do.
I was gonna do runs before this, but then I was so tired, so I took a nap. So
Okay.
I'll probably do runs afterwards.
Yeah, I've started doing runs again, and it's so fun seeing like the exits in early game. I don't know if you've done runs yet,
Yeah,
but it's crazy. Like,
I've done two runs, but they were like really bad. Like the first one, I don't know. I played not at my home setup, so I had like a different monitor, which was very bad because every time I play on a different monitor, I suck, especially when I start out. So the first run, I did a practice run, I got a 106. I was like so embarrassed of myself. And then I played like another run that was yesterday. I played on stage at a local gaming event.
oh nice.
And yeah, first the practice run was a 106, and then the real run was a 101. So that was a lot better already.
It's
So
a lot
we'll
better,
see.
yeah.
But I don't have any feeling for the exits yet. But I did feel that loads were really fast.
Yeah, it's the exits are like it's insane because on my first cap I played like a high 216 and I got a 214 and I was like, damn bro, that's crazy.
What? To four? Okay, I got it to 17 without like any issues yesterday, but I guess then it sucked.
Yeah, I think Tyron got a 213 already. I think several people have gotten 213s. It's crazy. I think it
That
saves
is
like
crazy.
I think it's cap saves like 2 seconds. And then it's so nice because I don't feel like I need to go for DSS now. because I can still get sub 10 sand exits without DSS, which is just
Oh
crazy.
my God, wait. Does that mean we're what is the offset now? Because I didn't think of that. We need a
I
longer
think
offset, right?
I've been doing like I've just been adding 5 to my offset. So if I do DSS, I don't do reverse sound. So if I
Why?
do DSS, I do like minus 32, and if I don't do DSS, I do minus
I
22.
already had 42 and now I need to do 47 or something. Oh.
Yeah. Someday Tyron will be able to do 154 AM.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
fully
I
believe
know.
in it.
I'm also of the opinion of that, yeah.
That will be nice for him and
But
still terrible for
once we
everyone
get the
else.
Switch 3, when like the loads get cancelled completely.
Yeah, Tyron will be able to do 154 AM, and everyone else will have to do like 58 seconds, 153 AM. It'll just be terrible. Um, so
I
what
wish
are
this
uh,
is one thing that I wish we could do on the Switch. I don't know, maybe even I would even be like for modding it in if you like could to change the seconds because then there wouldn't be no problem. If you could change the
yeah,
seconds too,
that would be
then you could
nice.
just like yeah, it's such an easy fix. The only thing we need is to be able to set the seconds.
I don't think they'll ever do that because I don't know any technological device that does do that, but that would be really
Yeah,
cool.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, we should add a mod. Like, you're not allowed to mod the game, but you can mod the Switch so you can just change the seconds.
That'd be kind of awesome. Yeah, that probably would have saved like hours off my life in total just because of how much that
A
offset
lot of
adds up.
hours, a lot of
Yeah.
hours.
So are you going for you planning on getting or going for 56? Was that kind of the
Yeah,
plan?
I think I have to. I think
Yeah.
the time save is too weak to say like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Definitely gonna get a 56.
Yeah. It's nice for the time save's nice for me because I always wanted to end on 57 because ending on 58 just feels weird because no one really does that. I also just hate any percent, so I don't know if I'm gonna go past 57, but 50 I want to at least get 57 and have that be like a potential stepping off point.
Yeah,
Um, and I was like so fed up with any percent recently that I was like, I don't even know if I want to go for 57 after 58, but now like 57 is only a little bit harder than 58 was gonna be, so I think I can realistically end with that.
yeah.
So I'm kind
I did feel very far away from 56, but now I feel like yeah, I can do it like very quickly because of course, if it saves 45 to
yeah,
50 seconds, that would already be enough, even like without getting a better run, you know. So I
yeah,
think I will definitely get it.
yeah. For other, do you have what other categories have you tried in Odyssey? And are you planning on picking those up again too with the Switch too?
I played all, but I do not like World Peace at all. I
Yeah,
also don't really like Dark. I also don't like Darker Side, which is like a bit of a weird opinion because
that
usually
is
people like Darker Side and not Dark Side, but I like Dark Side more.
really.
Uh, and I've done all the main categories. I've even done an MBM mode like a
Oh
few
yeah,
times.
that's right. You have.
Yeah. So I was actually after like the league finished, I was actually thinking of like grinding out all moons, and I started out like I grinded the first 2 hours, like so I practiced them. I never used to practice them. I still have a sub 8, so I think that is quite good. Uh, so I thought like okay, if I practice everything, I could get like a really good run, like a 7.2x, maybe 7.1x. But yeah, then I had like as I said before, everything else happened, and then I didn't have time,
Yeah.
and then I was like, ah, demotivated a bit. So it never like really got there. And now I think it's definitely any percent time again. So
I'm in the same position with All Moons because I've never practiced it and I've done I think 4 runs and I have I think like an 819. I think I could have had sub 8 by now, but the problem is the second or the third and fourth run I did at like 9 at night. So I was really tired like 2 hours into the run and I still finished it for some reason. Don't start. I've said this in several episodes at this point, but for any viewers, do not start All Moons runs. at late at night because you will regret it.
Except if you're doing an MBM, because then you need to do one
Then you have
anyway
to.
at some point.
I don't understand.
I
I would
I,
never
I
be
always
able
did
to.
I always did the long to short. So I started with 100%, then all moons, then dark, world peace, any percent. So the weird thing was I played for 16 hours and then I had 2 out of 6 categories done. So that was a bit
Yeah,
that was a bit weird. But yeah.
that still seems like kind of the way to go, I feel like, because you're just like, I mean, I guess I could see either way of doing it, but I feel like you just want to knock the longer ones out of the way because then it's just like, okay, I only have like these short
On one
categories
hand,
yet
yes.
left.
On one hand, yes, but imagine you start like at 9 or something in the morning, or let's say even 7, we start at 7 in the morning, and then by the time you get to 100%, which is the last category, so you have one more category, and then it's like still, I don't know, 22 or like 10 p.m.,
Yeah,
So it's not that bad because then you're like, okay, I only have one more category. That one takes a long time and you like go way into the morning, but at least it's like the last thing you have to do and you don't have to start a new run at 4 a.m. That
that's
is
true.
kind of tough.
That is true. I feel like no matter what, it'd be a daunting task. Part of me wants to. I don't like. I haven't played or I've played them, but I haven't like beaten any of them or let alone speedrun them. But 64 Sunshine, Galaxy 2. So I'm thinking like a week before the next 3D Mario comes out, I might do like a main board marathon just as my kind of version of the 602, just as like an Odyssey runner. And I'll probably hate myself for it, but I don't know. It could be fun. I don't know.
I kind of want to do an MBM again too because I forgot who, but someone beat my world record at it by like a
Oh,
few
really?
minutes.
What is record?
At 25 something.
Okay.
Let me check real quick. If speedrun.com would be a fast website, I would have already checked.
Is that on speedrun.com?
Yeah. It's
Oh, I didn't
a
even know
it's on
that.
a multi
Multi
Mario.
Mario? Okay.
Yeah, multiple Mario games. There we go.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, and even there is, I think, a category extension. Mainboard marathon. Yeah, Proprof beat me by 2 minutes. It's annoying.
Damn.
Like I had a 25. Okay, Tyler has a 25 hour 19, and then I have 25:11, and then Proprof has 25:09.
Damn, that's close. For a mainboard marathon, that's like really close times.
Yeah.
I'll get sub 25, surely.
I wanted to grind out almost so much that I could get a sub 24 because it's definitely possible. If you're hey there, it's possible because it all depends on all moons and 100%.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
then a little bit dark outside. But all the others like dark side, world peace, any percent are completely irrelevant.
Yeah, if you became like really good at 100%, then you can like sub 24 is just doable. But it's like,
Exactly. So hey there could definitely get it if he tried.
yeah. Um, anyway, moving away from RTA itself, I believe it was in late 2021 that you began an any percent tutorial series called Change of Pace.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
which I will say for the viewers, I would recommend the series, even though some of it's outdated because it was like 100 years ago at this point. But what
Yeah.
was the plan for that series, and what ultimately kind of led to each episode not really being able to come out for a long time?
So fun fact, it started when I don't know exactly the time, maybe like 1 month before the first episode came out. I woke up and I was like, damn, that's the idea. Like this is what I'm gonna do. Like it was legit. It came to me in a dream. And then I don't know why I think I texted Xbox. I'm not sure who I texted, but I think it was Xbox about it. And then we were like thinking, okay, yeah, we could do this, and let's make a plan for it. And then I invited Lupus to it because I knew that Lupus would be like good at writing scripts. Um, and I just assembled a small team, and then we got like kept out really fast, and we were like really motivated, and yeah, we just like worked on it in our free time, and that is, I think, the bit of an issue because we did it all voluntarily, and every time we finished an episode, we were like, okay, we did it, and then we like barely texted for the next 1 or 2 months, and like tried to
Yeah.
say like, okay, this is the next step, but it was always like dependent on someone else finishing something. So for example, the order that we did things was that I wrote the pre-script, which is just a small list of things that we need to address for each pace. So I wrote that. Then Lupus, or now someone else, but Lupus would do the whole script, like actually writing exactly what I'm going to say. Then we had Eden, who like checked over the script, and like for spelling mistakes or English stuff, because both Lupus and I don't speak English as our first language. And then we would have Lupus again on like writing down a list of things that we would record. And then we had a few, I don't know who it was at the start actually, but we had a few people like me and two others who like recorded the clips exactly how it was written down from Lupus. And then we had Lupus again because he had so many roles, making the whole video, like assembling all the clips and
Oh
splicing
wow.
them together. And that would be the end product. And at some point we would like have to diversify because Lupus said, yeah, I can't do that much anymore, which I completely understand, because he also does that for actual work, like making videos. I don't know exactly for who, but he does cut videos for a living.
I don't
So
know.
he said he can't really do that anymore. And then at some point he also said, yeah, he can't write the script anymore. So I had to find replacements for that. And now, Zack in the Box
Yep.
is our designated video cutter, and also responsible for like saying how exactly he wants the clips to look like. And the bigger problem now is that we don't really have a good way to write the whole script. So, for example, the last episode was snow. So for Seaside, I already have the pre-script. I even already have the pre-script for Luncheon written down, just because I was like working ahead a bit. And we also do have a script for Seaside, but it's just not to the standard that we wanted, because Lupus does it like in a certain way, and the way that we have it now is not satisfactory. And we are a bit lazy because like none of us really feels like, oh yeah, now I have time to like work on it and like finish it so it like looks how we want. So that is where we're stuck right now at CSET, because none of us is like, I don't know, we have the script but we don't know how to change it so it works. So
Yeah.
it is exactly how we want it. And then the next step after that would be Zach telling us which or how to record the clips, how exactly they should look, and then we would record them. But yeah, that's where it's stuck right now.
Okay. So you definitely do have plans to finish the series eventually, sounds
I
like.
hope so, but also now with the Switch 2, it's also a bit different, because now the whole
Yeah.
target times are different. Like nothing changed from the strats, but the whole target times, you don't need as good of strats to
Yeah.
get certain times. So I'm like not sure how we'll handle that.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question, is like how does Switch 2 play into it? And also just like
Yeah,
there's been several, just because of how long the series has been, there's been like a few new routes too since the episodes. Like was Giggler even in? I don't even think
Giggler was
Giggler
in,
was.
think.
Was it?
I think Giggler was in.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But
I think so.
I know Platform Clip wasn't in the sand video, which is funny.
Platform Clip was in. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that
that
feels
is
like
true.
it's been around
But that is now
forever.
very old.
Yeah. Um, so I guess it might just be Platform Clip then. That's not in it. So that's
And
I
I
guess that's
mean,
not too bad.
also, reverse town, but that was a choice because there was a round we
Yeah,
just said we don't need it.
and I agree with that because it's just like 58 is like the last pace, I believe, right? And I'm not going for reverse town. I'm going for 58. I don't like reverse town.
Yeah,
Uh,
I learned reverse town like I don't know a few weeks before 57. That's how like unnecessary it
yeah,
is.
I might not even go for it like until after 57, honestly, because like now with all this time save, like I probably don't even need it. Which is crazy. But yeah, maybe you could do like an update video, I guess, like at some point with like all the new stuff since the series started,
Yeah,
would be my
yeah,
guess. But
definitely. That was an idea. That was an idea for us as well. Yeah.
yeah.
But first, we need to like focus on actually like making progress at all.
Yeah. Um, anyway, if I remember correctly, you're on a sort of esports team. What's
Yes, yes.
how does that kind of like how's that kind of influenced your experience with the Odyssey community, and when did you like join it?
I think it a little bit professionalized me, you know, as like I'm
Okay.
not only a player in the game, but I'm also like more active as organizer. And I think that definitely helped me go into that direction. In general, after GSA stopped hosting the league, I was like trying to fill that with a Cool Cat gang. But right after, like the first event that was like the league after GSA stopped was also because I got like the resources a bit from Plan B Esports. So that definitely made me think like, okay, I can do this, and it's not like me alone, but there is help that I could ask. So, for example, for layouts, which you know that is something that I'm really bad at, like graphics, I cannot do anything.
Yeah, same.
uh, so that is definitely something that helped, and also having a designated Twitch channel for it, where we could host it. And then I mean it for tournaments, we then switched to Cool Cat Gang because Saren, you know, did most of the restreaming, so that made sense. And then last season, because of a bit difficulties, I would say, at Cool Cat Gang, we switched very, very spontaneously back to Plan B Sports, which, you know, that was really good how fast I could just like move everything there.
Yeah. Um,
So I think that is definitely what helped, yeah. And also in general, like layouts, like also my stream layout is made by them, so that was really cool.
yeah, speaking on layouts, I want to give a quick shout out to Zach in the Box because he was one of the people in my first episode. And the viewers are very lucky that he was because my original layout was a black screen background, the face cams and like Comic Sans text below them with the names and no logo or anything. It was terrible. And then Zach in the Box spent like we were gonna start the episode and he saw my layout and he was like, oh no, that will not do. And he like made the SpeedTalk like logo for me and then like gave me a bunch of suggestions. So that kind
I
of
thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna say like when you said, "Oh, speaking of layouts," I thought you were gonna mention my live split layout, and
oh
I was
yeah,
like
that
already,
too.
oh,
Relax the layout is funny. I kind of forgot about that, but now that you mention it, it's like clear picture in my head of it. Um,
yeah.
that's
It's
a
iconic at this point
why is that the layout? I must ask.
because okay, and this might sound a bit weird, but I don't see how colors match and how they don't match. So I don't really care because you know a lot of people they will see like bright red and bright blue next to each other and they'd be like, no, this does not work together. For me, I really don't care. Like I look at it and it just I don't know. I don't see what other people see there. I think because it doesn't matter to me. And then when I made my last player, I just like okay, this is gonna be this color, this is gonna be this color because to me it didn't matter because I just thought like oh look this is a different color and that maybe like signifies it's something else, you know. So that is what I did, and yeah, I don't see an issue with it, so I
That's
just
fair.
had it like that, and then people saw it and they were like, "Oh, this looks so horrible." And I was like, "I don't know, I don't see it."
I've never thought it looks bad. It's just like it's just like kind of subconsciously like looks a little off, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't like bother me though. It probably bothers some other people. Just based on
Yeah,
when I made the 6YSMO darker community post, and that like went viral with people like shitting on me for the red background with I think it was black text over like a bright red background. Just based on that, people do seem to have quite a big problem with weird things like that.
exactly. And I would never say anything like that because to me, I look at it and look, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like I can read it, so it's not. I don't think it's a problem. Um, but yeah, when it comes to Plan B, what kind of how did you balance the league with everything else? Because obviously, like the league was pretty time consuming, I imagine. And
Yeah,
what do you think kind of led to its success? Because I think it was a pretty successful event. I know a lot of my friends had a
you
fun
mean
time with
last year
it.
now, right? Like the last
Last
one.
year, yeah, the most recent
Yeah.
one.
I think it helped that the previous years I just always participated, and I always had like an idea of how I would run it, but Sarah would run it a bit differently. So also it gave me a bit of the freedom of how I would run things because I remember before we always had it like okay, runs would be throughout all the week, just whenever people have time, and Saren would have time to restream, and he would find commentators. That's when he would do it. But I always thought it makes more sense to have fixed times like we had this time, where we just like play three like on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we have 6 time slots, and then I just like check who has time when. And worst case, we just move it 1 or 2 weeks if someone has no time. And I think that worked out quite well because it definitely helped people to know when the league is, and it also hyped me up because every time like Friday came around, I was like, damn, today is like gonna be matches, and I'm gonna like watch them, and I'm gonna, I don't know, like look, organize if there's anything that I need to do, restream if I'm restreaming, doing stats. So I think it hyped people up a bit more that it was like designated time slots. I think that for me at least that was the main part.
Nice. Um, I believe at the end of the Plan B, the most recent one league, you announced after the finals, Speed Gaming Live, Odyssey's presence at it.
Yes.
What are some of the plans well, for the viewers who don't know, what is Speed Gaming Live? And then what are some of the plans for it
Um,
this year?
it is an event that Speed Gaming hosts every year. I didn't know about it actually before this year,
Oh, really?
where they invite communities to just host their own tournaments for a few days. And then Troy of Athens, like who's also very
Yeah.
active in organizing and commentating with me, uh, texted me about it, and he like asked me because he got asked, and he asked me if I can maybe think that, or I don't know, help organize the event or the Odyssey part of the event, and that would be 23rd to 26th of October this year, in or near Washington. I don't know the exact address. I think it's near Washington. And we have the complete free liberty to do whatever kind of tournaments we want. So they give us the space. So we have like a room and lots of screens and a stream, and we can do whatever we want, like whatever tournaments we want to host. Uh, and they will also provide like the stream tech, but everything else is up to us. So that I think is a really cool opportunity because we
Yeah.
can just set up whatever we want, whatever fun we want, whatever event we want. Generally, it should be tournaments, but even if we want to just, I don't know, maybe have a race. Like I was also suggesting a one big all moons race where we just have like everyone who's there like does one all moons run. I think that could be really fun. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great opportunity. Also just for clarity, Washington D.C. Because
Yes, yes,
there's
Washington
a
DC.
state
Sorry.
Washington, complete
Yeah,
opposite area. Um,
Washington DC. Yes.
but it's pretty cool. I hope I can go to that. But I also have no idea if I can. I wish it was at like in the summer. and not right in the end of October.
For me,
But
it's good that it's like not earlier because I swear I'm gonna like
yeah, you're going somewhere
I'm gonna
every
have a bit of
month.
I'm gonna have a bit of money problems. I mean, not really, but like if it was earlier, then I would have because then I would have like less salaries until that, and I'm trying to save money for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, money problems is definitely the biggest issue for me.
Yeah.
But I
I
have
mean, if it
a
was only that, it
yeah,
wouldn't be a problem. But it's more for
yeah.
me, yeah.
My friends and I are trying to meet. Well, they're definitely meeting. I'm trying to meet with them in July for a Boston meetup, which I believe I already told you about. But if I can't go to that, then I'm gonna do everything in my power to go to speed gaming. If I can go to that, I probably will be skipping out on speed gaming just because of money. Um, but it sounds pretty fun if I do go, like I am very excited.
Yeah.
Especially hearing everyone else that is going, which is like a decent number of people for it being
But so
the end of
far, so
October.
far, the only people who have said they're 100% going are me and Danny Geffen. But I've heard a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'm very likely going. But like, not a
Yeah,
lot of people haven't like 100% uh, guaranteed it.
I'm pretty confident VGR and Autumn will both end up going, and I think Zypher's
That would be very
planning on
cool.
going. So,
Yeah. I
uh,
hope we can get at least 16 people because I think if it's less than 16, it's not that cool. So I think it will be. I hope it will be 16 plus.
yeah, then you could run back the 16 person Odyssey relay.
For example.
Yeah. That was a fun in-person event. The stream was a disaster. Like if you watch
It
it
was
back,
really fun.
it's impossible to understand anything that's going on. It's so funny. It kind of
It was really funny.
adds to the charm though, just the really laggy like shouts that you just hear and you can't comprehend anything that's going on. Just
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
it very well demonstrates the chaos that was going on, I would say. Um
But yeah, for me, October will be crazy because first I'm going to be in Japan for 2 weeks. Then I'll take like then speed gaming would be like 5 days after I left Japan because that plan I had before. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna fly back to Europe and then to Washington D.C. So I'll just like continue on. So I fly from Japan to Hawaii for a few days and then to Washington D.C. And then when I'm on the way after the event, I'm just gonna visit my girlfriend in Madrid for a week. So I'm like gone for a whole month. And yeah, all the flights together. I mean, I got like cheap flights. So I'm basically going around the world for like 1,600 euros, which is like nothing
that's
if you think about it, but
yeah.
still.
And then like yeah, even right before this episode, the whole like series of things Danza just said, he basically did that exact thing before the episode of where he was the last like 2 weeks, except with different places. So
I mean,
you really are just going
not
all over the
really. Not
place.
the last 2 days. I went to a
Last
concert and then
two
to like a
days, okay,
football match. I went like to Vienna twice within like 24 hours.
very busy guy. Um, and then he's still gonna find time to get 56 during all of that. It's crazy.
Exactly. I'm very like active at everything at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. So for Speed Gaming Live, was this like kind because you've obviously had like organizing and like kind of managing experience with speedrunning like online events. Has like organizing one of your own in person kind of like been in the back of your mind for a while, or is this like a opportunity you like didn't think you'd ever have?
I mean, with Plan B, we also had like the idea before of like, oh, could we like maybe do something in person? But currently there are not like enough resources. But it would be cool to like host, I don't know, a live speedrunning event in Austria too, for example. So I've thought about it before, but that opportunity came like really spontaneous. Uh, but I definitely think I'm up to the task. At this point, I think I can do that. So I'm looking forward to it. And also, I won't be alone. Like the main part of the organizational things, like getting the venue and stuff, that is not. I don't have to do that. That is done by Speed Gaming. So all I have to do is like coordinate the speedrunners themselves.
Nice. Yeah, it's it's exciting to see like an event that's being run by like someone in the Odyssey, or like partially ran by someone in the Odyssey community. And we have like a lot of control because obviously there's an event called Pace that we had no control over that is no
Was
longer
an event.
with
Was an
us. That's just that was the
is
most
this event
tragic
currently in the
shit.
room that you're speaking of?
um But how have like, because well, what was your first speedrunning event, and then how have like the speedrunning events that you've been to kind of impact like your plans for Speed Gaming Live and stuff?
The first, I mean, I was talking about it earlier a bit. The first event I was like at, it was in my city, where I
Oh yeah,
played like at the uh, a local game. It's generally just a gaming event, but I am now responsible for the whole speedrunning section of it. So I guess you could also call that a live event already, if like you think about it.
yeah,
And then the first like actual speedrunning event I was at was ESA Winter 2019. I also shortly mentioned it earlier, where I did a run against Zyper with
oh
Tyler
yeah,
commentating. And then the next year, after like right before COVID, actually 1 week before COVID, uh, Tylo and I did a race at ESA Winter 2020 with Zyper commentating. So it was like flipping them around a bit.
oh okay,
And then, of course, because of COVID, I could not go to any, and there were none. So the next one I went to afterwards was ESA Winter 2022. And I think that that event and everything after like influenced my whole life so much because I got to know so many more people. Before that, it was Zyper, Tylo, and I at the event, and that was it. So we didn't know anybody else really. But in winter 2022, so many more people were there. Like, for example, Kyle was there, you know?
yeah.
Um, Ink Garbor, I don't know if you know him, but
I
he's
don't
also
think I
from
do.
Austria. And he's like in the Galaxy community mostly. Hardcore Gaming, also from the Galaxy community, is now my best friend actually. So like
Nice.
a lot of that like influenced my whole life quite a bit.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that without ESA and without like getting to know all these people, my life would be a lot more boring. Because, like, for example, I'm also going to Japan, as I earlier said, with hardcore gaming, and
nice.
his uncle and a friend of his. So, like,
Wow. Yeah.
it's just yeah. I met my girlfriend in a random bar that I went to with hardcore gaming in Madrid. And Tyler was also on that trip. We took a spontaneous trip last year where we just met at Frankfurt Airport, and I threw a dice, and that determined which country we're going to on the same day. And then we went to Spain, and we went into a bar and like on the same night, and that's where I met my girlfriend now. So like
Wow.
it really influenced my whole life, and I'm very very happy about it.
Yeah. That like I feel like everything in this episode so far, like I see like a lot of similarities between you and I, except you are like with Mario Maker, we both have that history, except you were way better at it. And then with the speedrunning events, like influencing our lives, I guess. Kind of similar, except you've been to a lot more than me, and it's influenced your life a lot more than it has mine, probably. Um,
Maybe you'll see where the journey goes.
yeah, maybe in the future, but like I guess pace for me, because I was at four paces, both in 2023 and both in 2024, and those were so like influential for me, because like, and I mean I talk about it like every episode. You can kind of just tell if, for anyone that's watched all these, um, like anyone that's been at pace, and that I met at pace, we end up talking about pace at some point in the episode. That's just like a topic that I always bring up. But it was like it's so nice just being able to like see all of your closest friends in person, and then also meet like I think summer pace has always been more about like seeing a bunch of my close friends in person, and then meeting like some people from like multi-mar community. But fall pace, like which I only went to both of them for like a couple days, but fall pace was really like exciting because I mean, it wasn't more exciting than summer at all, but it was still like exciting in a way because there were so many people I just didn't know. So I kind of had to become a little more social, and I met some really awesome people at both fall paces. So
Mhm.
pace is a blast for me. Um,
I would recommend everyone who can to go to ESA because I've been to
yeah,
both. I've been to ESA and I've been to PACE, and ESA, in my opinion, is a lot cooler.
yeah,
PACE was cool, but I don't know. To me, ESA, like you just maybe also because you're actually in a city and
yeah.
not like PACE where you're
Pace was
like
in the
in a
middle of
hotel and
nowhere.
that's it. And you need, and also in America, of course, you always need a car. And in Malmö, which is where ESA is, you just like take a train, like, and you're everywhere in the whole city within like no time. And I feel like that is very, very important for the experiences that we built there.
Yeah,
So really, everyone who can like just come to ESA. It's a great time. And
absolutely.
also, I feel like at this point, ESA for me, it's not even about speedrunning so much anymore. It's just
Yeah.
a vacation that I have with my friends, and then we like go to a bar and we like get drunk or something. It's like really fun.
Yeah, ESA, like I saw, I forget, it might have been Source Kyle's VOD. I think he was the one who did it of ESA.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It
Oh my
looked
god,
like a
so good.
blast. It was such a good
It's
video.
so good. Like I watched that, and I'm like, man, I want to be back. It's so good.
I love like any videos of like reflections of like any in-person speedrun event, even the ones I don't go to. They're just like it always looks so fun and just reminds me of my experiences. And I feel like ESA would be a lot of fun to I definitely want to go to an ESA eventually, but obviously I'm going into college this year, so I'm gonna have to wait until I have money to do that. But honestly, maybe in the next couple of years I could, especially if
Yeah,
there's not gonna be like another pace thing anytime soon.
yeah.
Um,
There's also like, for example, like our main spot at this point at ESA is not the hotel anymore. It is the karaoke bar. We go to literally every night.
yeah, there's
Is
like
is the
several
best
parts in
place.
the video with that bar, I believe.
Exactly. We go
Yeah,
there every night where it's open. It's not open Monday, Tuesday, but every other night we go there.
yeah. It's I'm curious how different pace would have been if it wasn't like, because obviously they were gonna move it somewhere else before it got canceled. I'm curious how it would have been if it was in like one of the city areas. Because I think there was some talk about that. That would have
Yeah.
been interesting to see. Um,
I broke my arm at pace. Fun fact.
oh yeah, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know it was broken at the time, but then I flew home and then I got into I went to the hospital, and like 1 week, and they said like, oh yeah, it's not broken at first, and then 1 week, like, so, but they still gave me a cast to like check,
Okay.
or just protect it a bit, and then 1 week later they scanned it again and they said, okay, never mind, it is broken.
Do you know how you broke it?
I was like playing soccer, or I
Oh,
was in
okay.
football, but I was playing soccer with Milo and a few others,
Okay, yeah.
and like I don't know, I fell once and I like caught myself like this on the floor, and it just like broke here.
Uh, that sucks. Yeah, that would not be fun probably. Yeah. The only other like I think I didn't see you too much at. Were you there the whole week
Yeah,
at
I was
Pace?
there the whole time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like I saw you like a lot in the first half of the week. The second half of the week I don't even remember as much of because I feel like it was a bit of a smaller group after like
to be
the
fair, I did a lot of
like
other
Wednesday.
things as
Yeah.
like normal for me at speedrunning events. So, for example, I even went to the national soccer game between
Oh, really?
the US and Colombia.
That's cool.
So I watched that also with hardcore gaming. So, um,
What team were you cheering
so
for?
so I didn't really care. I just never
Okay.
never had been to a national game before until there. And then yesterday I also was, because yesterday Austria played Romania, so I also watched that.
Nice.
But like my first national game ever was the US versus Colombia as a friendly, which is a bit weird. But yeah,
That's funny. Yeah, I was definitely doing like I went out to eat a lot at Pace.
Me
And
too. Me too. I
I
went to
think
that Mexican place like every day.
that one that we went to on like well, were you there the first day when we went there? Um,
I'm not sure, but there's
I don't
like one
know.
really close to the Best Western,
Okay.
and that
Okay.
um
I'm
and
hoping
I
it
went to that
wasn't
like
I'm hoping it wasn't the one that we went to, like a large group of Odyssey runners went to on I believe it was Sunday, the first day. I'm hoping it wasn't that one because I did not like that one. That one was not good. Autumn,
I don't know, but it was
yeah,
like you could walk to it. You didn't even need to drive a car. Like it was like
okay.
really, 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 really close.
That's probably a different one then. But I remember Autumn ordered like rice and he got fries, and then I ordered like a chicken
Yeah.
burrito, and there was like the amount of lettuce in the burrito was like 5 times the amount of chicken. It was
Okay.
it was basically a lettuce wrap. It was terrible. I'm sorry. I had to get that out of my chest. It was a
No, the
horrible
one I went to,
experience.
like I went every day, and it was like so good. I swear, I loved it. That I think I missed that the most because it was so good.
That's funny.
I love
Um,
Mexican food.
yeah, I think I'm pretty sure the two biggest like memories I have with you in particular at Pace was the Rubik's Cube tutorial, which I will unfortunately say I do not remember anything from it.
That's okay. That's okay. That is
Um,
what normally happens.
yeah, we would have had to do more sessions. And then the LTA, I believe me and you were the ones who corroborated like the whole. Okay, Tyrone does ICC, we do one clap, and then when he gets Snowdram, we all go crazy. I believe that was.
I don't know
Do you remember
exactly right
that?
now. I remember something like that, but I don't know.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
we kept like we kept like going insane whenever like they did easy things. Whenever they did hard
Yeah,
things, we
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
going crazy, and it was very funny because we kept doing
I
that
I
throughout the whole
remember.
LTA, and then it kept messing people up on Snowdram. It was funny. Um,
I remember that when like I also had a commentary session. I forgot with who. I think it was Tyler actually. Um, and we were like just commentating, and like Tyrone was in luncheon, and then all of a sudden he actually goes
oh yeah, he goes
for
with slope
the
vaults.
vaults, and I
Yeah,
was like completely like
that was
what
crazy.
the fuck is going on?
I've had like I made like a short like pace tribute video like as a part of my Odyssey 2024 rewind video that I did at the beginning of this year. And in it I
I'm pretty
have like
sure I watched it. Yes.
yeah, in it I had like a small part of like the slope vaults moment, and someone like DM'd me from like a different speedrun community, and they were like, "So that's what everyone was shouting about," and I was like, "Yeah," and then they like showed me like a clip from their stream, and it was like the exact same screams, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's slope vaults." I was like, "Okay." That was funny. Uh that was a fun LTA to watch. It'd be cool if we get
Definitely. Yeah.
something like
I would
that
have
at
loved to
Speed Gaming.
participate, but I missed by like one spot. I think I got eighth in the
Yeah,
qualifier.
I did the qualifiers. I got like 16th or something. But it was fun. Uh, but yeah. Anyway, um, that's pretty much all the main topics I have. So we're gonna move on to a quick speed round. These are some quick questions that may or may not be related to things we've discussed.
Uh-huh.
Um, started doing this a couple episodes ago, and I think it's a pretty fun way to end the episodes. So, start for starters, what is your favorite speedrun that isn't Odyssey any percent? If Odyssey any percent is your favorite,
You mean a category or what?
yeah, like category or speedrun of a different game if it's not Odyssey.
Yeah, yeah. I think Mario 64 120 stars to watch.
Okay, cool. And then this is an interesting question. What is one piece of any percent movement that you do that most people don't do that you would recommend?
The way to get up to nut clip.
Okay,
I do a backflip and then an up throw and then a dive into Cappy because like you're below a ceiling, so you do it
yeah,
like in seaside. And then hold neutral, so I'm like immediately up there, do another up throw to break the nut for like the first hit, then do another jump, turn around, do nut clip. And I'm
really.
the only one who does that.
That's interesting. I thought you were gonna say turning the camera after metro slots. I think that's
I mean,
what.
that is not a
Yeah.
part of the
But
route
that's
anymore.
not part of
So
the route anymore. Yeah, that was. I think that was what I was thinking of when I typed that question though. um, what is your favorite video game outside of Odyssey and both Mario Makers?
oh, that is a good question. I played Rocket League a whole lot, but I don't think it would be my favorite. I played Minecraft a whole lot. I think I had like probably the most fun with that, aside from Odyssey and Mario Maker. So maybe you could count that. Probably.
Okay. What is, if you know it, because I'm just curious, what's the fastest time you've completed a Rubik's Cube?
In competition, 9.7 seconds, and
Okay.
at home, 7.8.
All right. That's pretty good. I would never be able to do that, I feel like. What is your favorite streamer to watch on Twitch?
Okay, I'm gonna out myself a bit here. I don't really enjoy watching
If
streams at all.
okay, that's fair. I used to be in
I
the same
almost
boat.
exclusively watch YouTube because whenever I watch Twitch, I'm like in the stream, and after I don't know 10 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I'm bored. I'm gonna do something else.
That's fair.
I really don't. And if I watch streams, I usually just like go onto the Mario Odyssey category, and I just look for someone who streams with like 5 to 20 viewers. Because I don't really like watching someone who has more, at least like not more than 50, because you can't really interact with them the way that I like at that
Yeah.
like level, I guess.
Yeah, I like to watch streams that like my chat messages are likely to be read. Just
Exactly.
because it's all about the interaction for me. Well, if you're looking for 520 Twitch viewers, that's me. I'm in that boat.
Me too.
Um, okay. Well, in that case, what's one of your favorite like YouTubers for gaming, I guess,
I
as a
mean, you
whole?
wouldn't know them.
Okay.
My favorite YouTubers, you wouldn't know them because they're complete like only German. But
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like I'm a huge fan. They're called Pete's Meat. Uh, it's like it's a huge team at this point, but it's like five main people who like do all the recording. And like they started out with like gaming, but now they also went on to like a few like more IRL stuff, or
Okay.
but mostly it's just like gaming and quiz shows they do at this point. But I'm a huge fan.
Cool. What is the worst or hardest kingdom in any percent from your experience?
uh, Wooded or Luncheon?
Okay.
I think that is a very common answer,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
but it is just true. Wooded has the most difficult tricks now, especially with all the triple clips. Luncheon in general has the most difficult movement because like just every movement is difficult if you do spiritless.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I would probably have to go with it's a hard question, but I think frustration wise, luncheon, just because all three of the 58 paces that I've had out of snow have all died to stupid bullshit in luncheon. Like two of them were to the timer challenge, and one was to a drop spin pound on the pillar moon, and it's very frustrating.
I think Wooded is more difficult now that I think about it.
I think Wooded's more difficult, but luncheon is more frustrating just because it's so late in the run. Um, and then last but not least, if you have one, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Uh, I'm gonna say an unpopular opinion because a lot of people I know don't like it, but uh, wait, what's the English title? I'll have to translate it.
I probably don't know what it is then.
No, no, you know it.
Oh, do I?
Ah, yeah, okay. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Oh, okay. That's
So
yeah,
that's the second
that's
one, which actually most people
yeah.
don't like, and it's usually people's like least favorite of the three. But I don't know, I love it.
I haven't seen like that whole trilogy, but I've seen like 30 minutes from that movie. Um,
Wait, I just remembered another movie. I
yeah.
just remembered another movie that I like more. The Martian.
Okay, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
The Martian. Save Mark Watney is the subtitle, I think.
All right, cool. Anyway, that's well, one more question, I guess. What is next for Dansta2106, and where can viewers find you?
What is next right now is 56 grand. I think, and once eventually this year, please, a new 3D Mario releases.
Hopefully, that'd be awesome.
I will definitely hop on that immediately and
Yeah,
see if I like it more or less than Odyssey, and then decide what like I would rather play, because it completely depends on that.
same for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and you on Twitch, Twitch and YouTube. That's the
Okay.
2106.
And those will be linked in the description. Thank you for joining me, Dansta. This was a fun episode of Speed Talk.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah,
Is there anything else you want to say before we end here?
I don't think so. I think I said a lot of
All right,
things.
cool. All right, cool. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Dancer, for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.